think the mood that I was going for overall was something of beauty, something of inspiration, and something with a little bit of mystery. I wanted to avoid the images being sad or depressing or scary. I just wanted to kind of show the natural beauty of these places. Most of the cemeteries were shot during the daylight hours, which for a project like this may not seem appropriate, or it might seem contradictory, but I think that a lot of the cemeteries were places I didn't want to be in at night, so for one reason, and they took a long time to find, so I had to go out during the day to find them, and I spent as much time at each one as I could. There were quite a few things that happened in my travels capturing all these images that will stick with me for a very long time. And there was an incident at the Calabasas Cemetery in Nogales where I approached the entryway. There was a huge arch with the name Calabasas Cemetery, and I happened to look down, and on the ground there was a chicken with its head cut off in a Walmart bag. And again, I was like, what is going on here? This is freaky. These frames were a nightmare. Each one of them had a new set of problems. Every time I went to work on it, take it apart, disassemble it, pull all the staples out, sandblast it or hand sand it, put a coat of primer on it, sand it again, and do that a couple times, then lay down some white paint on it, again, sanding, painting, then put the polyurethane on it, then take the frame and the print to the framer and have them assemble it with the UV protected acrylic. And so there was just a lot of steps, and I didn't really account for all that, but I learned a lot, and I'm glad I went that route.
I was shot with an iPhone and I blew it up to 30 by 40.
Well, we really took time to go through the images that he had captured because he had such a vast body, over 6 weeks of shooting. So taking the time to really properly curate it, bring it down to a size that we could get the most striking images in the gallery that really showcased what he was trying to get across. So we spent a lot of time working on that together, and he would make suggestions. He had certain images he knew he wanted in it. There was other ones we kind of went back and forth and really selected from. And as we created it, it really turned into a unique body.
I think it's really nice. I was just telling a friend of mine about the graveyards back east. They're old and they have all this greenery, and they have this idea in your mind of what they're going to look like. They're like storybook, but the ones out west they're different and they're more unique to the United States, and I like that about it, and I like the desert. So
reading the headstones, you can see the history, you can read the history, and so much of that is lost, and so the only way to really preserve it is, one of the ways is through photography. And that's what my first impressions was, we've got a nice photographic history of some of the small towns, some of the small cemeteries.
I've traveled the state for other things that Arizona Highways has done, but this in particular was like concentrated into a 6-week period where I was driving around from county to county and getting to experience all the different landscapes and climates. And I hope that guests can take away just a sense of what that was like. There were a lot of isolated areas where these cemeteries were located, and I don't think a lot of people get to see them. And so I hope that they can take a little bit of that with them when they leave.